Hi again, everyone. Welcome back, dear listeners. Welcome back, anyone who's returning. Welcome on board, anyone who's new to this podcast. This is the podcast of the Spirit Channel, the Spirit Channel blog. This is the podcast of it. I am your host, The Zenith, and I welcome you on board for yet another episode. In this episode, I would like to discuss a big topic. This is a huge topic, and it may have to be split into two parts due to perhaps the length of or the discussion that I want to have around it, because I do want to give it a good discussion. And this will be centered around the idea of catalyst and karma, and perhaps self-forgiveness. So without further ado, let's start. So what do I mean by catalyst? What is catalyst? Before we even get into the topic of karma. Catalyst, if you look up the definition in the dictionary, or perhaps if you understand what catalyst is something that provides change. It is impetus for change. It is a mechanism for change. When we look at a vehicle, we see it has a catalytic converter. It converts one thing, or I should say it converts harmful gases that are produced by your burning of petroleum in your engine and your oil into substances using certain gases and certain chemicals in this catalytic converter into less harmful emissions that exit your exhaust into the environment. So catalyst is the same thing. It provides an opportunity for change. It provides transformational opportunities. So a bit of background then. You are in truth a pure being of pure energy, a purely spiritual, non-physical being. You are a piece of the creator in miniature, and you reside in a higher dimensional state of frequency, of vibration, of consciousness. But this is not the end. You still need to grow. You still need to develop that state of being in order to reunite with the creator again. And so the best way to do this is by taking up an incarnation and experiencing a lifetime in the physical world. And so what happens is that it is decided upon by your actuality, your soul, which is you. You're just experiencing a part of you now in this human experience, in this human body. A large part of you is still in a higher dimension in your natural habitat. Your natural habitat. God, sounds like you're an animal now. Your natural state of being. And a portion of you is now present in this experience, in this human experience. And so while you're fully present in your natural state of consciousness, in your non-corporal, non-physical form, it's decided by you and by those who guide you what are the best lessons for you to experience, so that you may experience more spiritual growth, and therefore draw you ever closer then to the creator, or the creator of all things. And so you decide on a series of limitations for yourself, a series of handicaps, you may say, a series of imperfections, so to experience that state of non-perfection. And on top of this, you decide upon a series of events, of situations that you will encounter during a lifetime that will provide you with an opportunity to experience change and to experience growth. And so what actually happens is that you you when you decide all this life plan. You pass through what is termed, or what has been termed, a veil of forgetfulness. And what this does is that causes a sort of amnesia, so that when you come into your incarnation in a human body, you completely forget all about this wonderful existence that you truly are. You forget about this unified state of consciousness where you recognize that all are one and one are all, that there is a deep underlying pattern to creation, that there is even a very creator itself, and that you have no contact with anyone else. By that I mean that there's a form of telepathy, what we would call telepathy, that is experienced in the non-corporal or non-physical state, in this higher state of consciousness, that communication is done not through verbalization, not through clumsy concepts such as words, but an inner knowing, a state of consciousness in which feelings are utilized, but on a much deeper level. You just intimately know what another entity, another person, if you like, another soul is feeling, what they need to express, what they wish to communicate with you. And it's all done through feelings and intuition, and through this advanced form of telepathy. So, as a part of the veil of forgetting, you've lost that ability. You are completely isolated in your own mind. You cannot communicate with anyone other than a verbalization of words. So you need to actually verbalize what it is that you wish to convey and what you wish to explain. So, as you can imagine, this is a very limited way of communicating. And so we come into this world which is turbulent, which is chaotic. It has extreme ups, it has extreme downs, it is extremely polarized. It is a world full of emotions, a world full of hardship, a world full of opposites, a world full of people who may seek to cause you ill, to have negative things to say about you, to even to rile up your potential base emotions. But all these are actually good things, and remember that a lot of this has been decided upon before you decided to come into an incarnation. So when we're here in this physical world, we have situations and events that happen to us, and they seem like bad luck, they seem like misfortunes, they seem like ill actions, and we largely cry out because we don't understand why this is happening to us. We have forgotten that a large part of this we have chosen as part of our incarnational path, as part of our incarnational learning within this lifetime, as lessons that need to be learnt. So the question then becomes, well, how do we learn, or what are we learning? Well, remember that if this physical life is largely an illusion, this physical body is just a form of matter in order to house your consciousness, or part of your consciousness, your spirit, then the misfortunes, the bad luck, the accidents that happen to us should be turned around and looked at from a different action, or from a different viewpoint. What you are being given here, what you are perceiving or experiencing, is opportunities for growth. I've talked about this sort of stuff on previous podcasts, so I largely don't want to cover old ground, but you're experiencing catalyst. You're being given an opportunity for change, for growth, an opportunity to experience things that can help you learn, can help you develop as a spiritual entity, a spiritual being, a spiritual person. So these situations, these events, are opportunities. They are something that you can transform or utilize in some fashion in order to help change your consciousness, in order to help change your state of being. So how is this possible? Well, when we look at, I guess we all kind of envy those people who seem to have it all together. Those people whose lives are flowing, who seem to be floating on a cloud of air. Their feet don't touch the ground. They don't wallow in the filth. They seem to have carefree, blissful lives. They are probably seemingly happy all of the time. They don't have cares. They don't have worries. They don't have problems. They have no money problems. And so we look at them people and wish that our lives could be like that. But this, well, I guess the first thing to say is that nobody's life is any perfect. We all mask our true feelings and true behaviours behind a mask of or an illusion of positivity and happiness. So besides that, taking that out of the equation for the minute, we have to understand that even if these people are, and that's not to say that you have to be a miserable person all the time, but it's just this idea and this concept that if you're leading a carefree, happy, untroubled life, then you're not really learning anything in this life. And this is because that the greatest way to learn, to grow, is through hardships, through traumatic events, through situations that cause us to self-reflect and within ourselves, within our state of being, to examine ourselves, to determine if what's really important in our lives, to ask the big questions, to wonder why, that all this is happening to you. What is the purpose of life? To really question your existence and question your lifetime about what you're doing and where you're going. And unfortunately, nothing sparks that inward reflection than traumatic events or events that can be perceived as being misfortune or unfortunate, or by having a conflict or perhaps conflicts with perhaps other people. These events seem negative to us, but as I said, they can cause great inward reflection, great inward seeking, inward contemplation, and really, especially if they are traumatic experiences, they really force us to reach into the depths of our very being and find reservoirs of strength and reservoirs of endurance that we never really thought that was achievable or we had within us. How many people have you encountered and listened to who have been through a hardship, a divorce, a marriage breakup, a death, a betrayal of a loved one or a spouse, a traumatic accident or injury, being the victim of sexual abuse or assault, and has found that strength within them to carry on and come out of that experience some many years later and turned around and told you how hard it was at the time, but they're now a stronger person because of it. And so this is the exact same thing. It's a catalyst. We are being given catalyst every day in every shape and form in order to help us do somewhat contemplating, to do inward reflection about the state of the person that we are, about who we are and where we're going, and what ultimately makes us happy in life. And when things like this come into our life, we begin to realize that physical goods, our nice cars, our nice furnishings, our jewelry that we wear, the clothes that we buy, really don't provide any comfort from this, any consolation for this. So I guess this is or these events actually can be looked at as opportunities that you're being given a gift that the people who are living carefree, untroubled lives aren't receiving. It's a gift from yourself or to yourself. It's a gift from those who guide you, and especially from your higher self, to help you facilitate those changes in consciousness that are required to obtain spiritual growth. Now again, it may seem to be very unfair, and from our low perspective in this physical reality, because it's all that we know in the lifetime, because as I said, there is this veil that's draped across our consciousness that causes amnesia and causes us to forget all that we knew in our higher state of existence. It can seem to be unfair, but remember that this lifetime, as long as it may seem, as real as it may seem, is only a temporary thing, and there are many lifetimes, and you will have no doubt experienced many lifetimes in incarnation on planet Earth, and potentially elsewhere on other planets within our galaxy. So time itself is really an illusion. In the higher dimensions, there is no time. It's not a time that we experience it. We experience space-time in that, in order to travel across a distance, a certain amount of space, it takes time to do that. And so that's how we experience time. But in these higher realms, in these greater states of reality, that's not how it's experienced. It's more of a space-time rather than time-space, in that in order to get to a certain time, you need to, let me just see if I can get this right. You need to travel to a certain space. So a space can be experienced instantaneously. You can move to a certain space if you want to experience a certain time. That's a bit mind-boggling, but if you can try and get your head around that, is in that time itself is really an illusion. These or in these higher realms, we can cross vast distances in the blink of an eye. We can be anywhere we want instantly, and potentially at any time in the past or present or potentially future. But anyway, I'm getting off the path here. So lifetime in the physical world is really the blink of an eye. When you're in this higher reality, in these higher dimensions or densities in the non-physical, we realize then that a lifetime is really just a blink of an eye. But to us, it seems extremely real and drawn out and very, very long. So, as I said, these events and situations that come into our lives are pre-planned and pre-programmed in order to help us stop in our tracks, and are being given to us and are a gift to us in a way to offer us opportunities for growth and opportunities for change. So the happy person, the person, carefree person, may just be a young soul who hasn't experienced a great deal of lifetimes and therefore has no real great spiritual growth about them. If you are someone that has a lot of trauma, has a lot of hardship in their life, no doubt you're a more advanced soul who needs that trauma, who needs that hardship in order to really grow, in order to really mine those experiences to help really develop. So perhaps in a way you could turn around and say that you're fortunate, that you are very, very lucky to have that within your life. So that as well, when this happens, to always look for the lesson that's being offered within this. It may not be apparent at the time, may come much later, and believe me, I've had many experiences of this, and many days, weeks, months, years of frustration, wondering what the hell is it that I'm meant to learn in this, and just catalyst after catalyst after catalyst, especially in regards to my day-to-day. And I think that is in order to help me realize and help me understand that there's more that I need to be doing in my life rather than just committing to a day-to-day. And so therefore I am doing this and trying my best in order to live the life that I believe that has been agreed upon, and to be of service to my fellow humans and fellow people while in this incarnation, and to share my knowledge. But anyway, yes, those young souls who seem to have a carefree, largely untroubled life, full of perhaps wealth and splendour, can be compared to a sunny day, and that lifestyle can be compared to a sunny day, a lovely warm sunny day. If you're one of these people like me who don't live in a natural warm sunny climate, but when we get them warm sunny days, or those periods of blissful sunshine, we tend not to want to do anything. We tend just want to sit and absorb and soak up the sun and just relax and put all our chores off to another day. And what happens is that not much gets done. No clutter is cleaned up, no chores are done, no bills are paid, no work in general is done, no emails are sent, stuff like that. We tend just to get lazy, and this is what those people who are experiencing carefree lives may be compared to a sunny day. And in actual fact, this is potentially, from what I've read, and I think perhaps when I say this, it'll probably make a lot of sense to you. You'll probably go, yeah, I've heard that somewhere before. This is actually the way it was in the beginning of creation. Certainly in this state of being, in this density, in this human experience, or this third level, or third state of consciousness, is that originally there was no veil. There was no veil in the incarnation. So any entity, any spirit who was in physical form still had that connection to all, to source, to God, while they were in physical form. So the way I kind of describe it, it's like a curtain. Imagine sitting there, enjoying your life, but always being aware that there is a curtain which is open, and seeing on the other side of that curtain, and knowing that no matter what happens in this life, there's always that safety net, that assurance, that connection, that there is an afterlife, that there is a state of existence, a natural state of existence that goes on after your physical death. So there's always that reassurance, there's always that thing, it's just there, it's always right there. All you have to do is turn around and look, and it's right there. So no matter what pain, no matter what hardship that you potentially experienced, it didn't matter, it was always there. So once again, there was no learning. So if that curtain was closed and you had no idea what was on the other side of it, it would be a completely different experience. It would be a completely different lifetime. And the only way would be Sometimes when there was noises, or perhaps the curtain potentially blew at times, that maybe you got a glimpse of something on the other side, or you heard a noise on the other side. You just knew that there was something, but it was unexplainable. It was a complete mystery. And so you had to live in faith that there actually was something. There was something on the other side of that. So this is the way I would describe existence before the veil and after the veil. It was necessary then for this veil to be introduced, as there was no real spiritual growth being obtained. There was no efforts at making spiritual growth. Spiritual growth in that pre-veil existence was very, very limited and very, very slow. And so it was decided upon that this veil would be introduced, that you would be separate from all of your brothers and sisters, your fellow entities, your fellow spirits. You would no longer be in communication with them, and so this world became a world of chaos and confusion and, as I've already said before, great misfortune and interactions in which we bump kind of into each other because we're not aware. I actually wrote a piece about this in my blog. I'll publish it in the blurb and see if you can like it. It gives you a sort of sense of what I'm trying to explain here, but hopefully you get the idea. And so this is the nature of catalyst. It's not a hardship. It's not a misfortune. It's not a series of bad luck. It's an opportunity for growth. It's a gift, really, in a way, to help you stop identifying with the physical world and the physical apparatus that we so dearly love. Our physical gadgets and toys and cosmetics and clothes and all that sort of stuff. It's a way to help you realize and recognize what's important in your life, a way to contemplate the bigger pictures. So it's a gentle push, it's a gentle nudge from your higher self, from your greater self that you agreed upon while in the non-physical, and from those guides who are assigned to you to help you experience a similar life that they experienced. And so this is catalyst. So then how does karma come into this? How does karma, and what is karma then? And how does that interact with catalyst? So I think what I'll do is that I'll leave this for there, and I will continue this on in part 2, where we look at the interaction of karma. What is karma? How does karma come about? What has karma got to do with catalyst? How are the two interlinked? And how then do we utilize karma? And then hopefully we may talk a little bit about self-forgiveness. So see you in part 2, dear listener.